Today we're going to be talking about Geoffrey Verity Schofield.
What's up, nerds?
Jeff is an online fitness coach who makes YouTube videos about online fitness. In his videos he explains ways to grow your arms, the best exercises for hypertrophy, and isn't afraid to call out people for their BS.
To be able to put on 4 pounds of muscle in a month?
Jeff has also built a pretty impressive physique and has some of the greatest beard genetics I've ever seen. Over the past couple of years, Jeff has released 3 fitness books: Sweat, Rings, and Resurrecting the Gains. So today we're going to see if they're any good and worth the hefty price of $55. First on the list is Sweat. Now, even as a fully qualified personal trainer, yoga teacher, snowboard instructor, and breath practitioner, not all of those are relevant, but you get the point. I do know a little bit about fitness. I found this book very insightful and very informative. The book starts by explaining the body's anatomy, as well as the range of motion of each specific body part. Learning about the anatomy and how the body moves is the fundamentals to strength training. Not learning the anatomy would be like picking up a guitar and just slapping the strings hoping a song came out. Yeah, you might be able to slap out a few notes, but you're probably going to end up being one of those people using a machine incorrectly, getting injured, or worst of all, dramatically slowing down the speed of your gains. The second chapter, and probably my favourite chapter of the book, is movement patterns. Now, why this section is so brilliant is he takes each movement pattern and then puts all the exercises within that movement pattern. So for example, the first exercise is back extensions. He then explains the purpose of the movement, as well as in great detail how to perform the movement, as well as pictures to show you the movement. But my favourite part is at the bottom of the card he has created a score chart explaining the difficulty of the movement, the effectiveness, rep ranges, priority of the movement, as well as the equipment needed. So each movement pattern has about 17 exercises, and he has done this amount of detail for each and every exercise. In chapter 3, Jeff explains how to create your own workout program, explaining reps, intensity, volume, and frequency, as well as how to balance the 4. Jeff has the great ability to explain things in simplistic layman terms so you can actually digest and understand the information. Over the next 7 categories he explains equipment, special workouts, cardio, injuries, training plans, making progress, and strength standards. So if you are someone with zero gym knowledge and you took the time to read this book, I guarantee by the end of it that if you went to the gym, you'd have more knowledge than 99% of the people in there. Next up we have ring training for hypertrophy. Jeff's ring book, kind of like a middle child, has been forgotten about. However, like a middle child, I think it does hold value and is definitely worth checking out. Now, before you skip ahead of the video, let me tell you that ring training is highly underrated. You just have to take a look at gymnasts to realize the potential. And I hate to say this, but if you've been using rings and you haven't seen any results, then it's not the rings, it's... Now, once again, I have experience with calisthenics. I trained in Bali for 6 months at a specifically calisthenics gym, and I've also followed the training app made by calisthenics coach Simon Atta. This book is a lot shorter than Sweat, only 68 pages. However, we're just talking about ring training exercises here. A few years ago, I made a 9-minute video about ring training, and about 10% of that video was this really disturbing intro sequence. Jeff starts the book by explaining the advantages and disadvantages of ring training, as well as how to set up the rings. However, the reason I found this book so beneficial is that it's hypertrophy focused. Most calisthenics program is built towards learning skills. For example, your training will be focused on learning a muscle up or a back lever. However, Jeff's book is focused on growing muscle, not learning skills, and it's something I've never seen when it comes to learning calisthenics myself. I bought this book when we were on a much shorter than intended road trip, and I absolutely loved it. Without giving too much of the book away, Jeff explains simple ways to make movements harder or easier, thus eliciting progressive overload, which can be extremely difficult when training with calisthenics and bodyweight exercises. Some tips were so simple and obvious, however they enabled me to take my ring training to a whole new level. Once again, he does this in phenomenal detail, so I'll give you the first example with his chest movement, the ring push-up. Jeff gives a detailed description on how to perform the movement, with a similar scorecard at the bottom of the page on what exercise in the gym this movement replicates, muscles used, and more importantly, how to scale up or scale down the movement. So there is a library of movements with several exercises I've never seen before, and you can easily make your own workout program by just selecting a few exercises from each body part. However, if you're not sure how to program, he has a section on how to create a program. And if you can't be bothered to read the section on how to create a program, he also has program templates after that, so you could just follow a template. And finally, he also gives you access to a secret YouTube video where he basically just walks and talks you through his own ring training himself, which is really insightful and really useful to see.
Stretch is pretty similar for both. So I would try both and see which you are more comfortable with.
And third and finally, we have his newest book, Resurrecting the Gains. I would say this book is a sequel to Sweat, so if you haven't read Sweat or you at least don't understand the fundamentals of weight training, this book is probably going to be too advanced for you. This book is focused on progressing as an intermediate to an advanced lifter, focusing on recovery, measuring your progress and setting realistic expectations. Geoff also explains how to program as an advanced lifter as well as avoid common programming mistakes. If I'm completely honest, I've not even finished this book. I mean, this is an 159-page novel that you can just read to wind down in the afternoon. It is a guide to help you break through plateaus and keep your training progressing once you get more and more advanced. I'm currently making good progress on my program, so I've yet to hit any plateaus. However, when I inevitably do in the future, I'll know exactly what I'll be doing. Chapter 11, Troubleshooting Your Program. Finally, I can't forget to mention that Resurrecting Your Gains also comes with a free audio book. So now every night I can drift to sleep while Geoff soothingly explains advanced periodization in my ears.
At the right frequency and the symphony of gains starts playing loud and clear.
So final thoughts on the free books. First of all, it's really difficult to do a book review without revealing too much of the book, so I hope I've done an okay job on that sense. Secondly, can you find all this information online? Yeah, of course you can. Most of it you can find on Geoff's YouTube channel alone. However, simply for the amount of time you'll save being able to reference certain exercises or program information rather than searching the entire internet, surely it is worth it for that alone. So if you're somebody who feels like you could learn a bit more this Christmas, give yourself the gift of gains this Christmas by purchasing these books. There's 3 of them for like $55. That's literally nothing for these resources that you will use for years and years to come. I'm obviously not affiliated with Geoff. He hasn't asked me to make this video. I'm just so impressed with free books that they actually warranted making a quick video about them. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video and I'll see you guys in the next one.
My name is Jeff.